All right. Says we've started streaming.
Hooray.
That's it. Inception streaming. We're streaming the streaming. All right. We've done it. Says we've started streaming. All right, I'm going to close that so I don't listen to myself from a few seconds before it, which seems like everything will go better. Welcome back, Jeffrey. How's your Friday?
Thank you. So far, so good.
Excellent. All right, so a recap of what we did the other week, which I thought was fun, was we built a little loop here. So we had 3 different rate limits, A, B, and C, and then we were just looping around, having a good time, and you could see that they all had different, came out at different rates. So you can see A was like every 3rd second, and C, there weren't a lot of C's. That was like 1 every 10 seconds. And that was because this was like 1 per 10 seconds. And so we could change this to 10. And then
That's a lot of C's.
We got a lot of C's. So that was fun.
It looks like my report card.
Be here all day. That was great. Okay, so we're going to put that down. That was a lot of fun. We had built these sort of limits right in sort of Ruby from scratch, and that was fun. But today we are going to play with the Rails 8 support for rate limits. So there is a new Rails 8 adds rate limiting to action controller, and we're going to sort of play with these and see what we see. Cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. So this sort of replaces and/or is inspired by Rack Attack.
Right. Which, yes, exactly. Okay, so to get us going here, I got a little new Rails 8 app started, so we didn't have to watch me bundle. And so all that's happened here was I did a Rails new, and I did a set the gem to be the main of Rails here, and so that got me.
Right. We're on a pre-release.
Running on the edge here, and then I think that's all I did, and then I made us a controller called the high volume controller, which is maybe not my best name, but it's got an index, and it's got a too many. So the way that their API sort of works here for using this was like, let's rate limit it so we only have 1 every 2 seconds, and then you get to like define what happens if you're over, and so I made a different path here called too many, and that's not the rate alert, but it hopefully will do something.
Gotcha.
My first fun bug was I didn't do this, and then because I had the action here, this didn't go great because it went over the limit and then redirected to the other thing, which was also over the limit.
Which was also limited. Yeah.
So that was fun. I'll show you what this does.
Oh, you may need to save that. I think you saved it after you put the bug back, and then not after you
You
fixed
do
the
it
area.
with or without the bugs. Yeah, I keep not saving in here. All right, and then let me bring us over a little web page. All right, and so what I found, I put this in as the home here, and what I found,
And that one's happy to give you as many as you want.
it did well. No, so it's interesting. It's not working at all here, and that's what I got out of the box. And the reason is, so I did some very sophisticated debugging techniques by going into hacking into the library here, And it says there's supposed to be a number here. Count. The reason it isn't working that I discovered this morning was that the default cache store for Rails in development is the null store.
Yes, famously known for not keeping track of things.
It did a good job. It did what it said on the box, but that makes...
That's right.
If your rate limiting is not working, so this... There we go. Slow down.
Right.
So that started making it work. Yep.
So do you mind showing the controller again? I just want to make sure I'm following along.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're loading. What is the page that you're refreshing?
Yeah, so let's see. So high
I feel
volume
like Turbo
index.
might be confusing me here, but
The what's that?
I feel like Turbo might be confusing me here, but maybe I'm wrong. So high volume index maps to the index action.
Mm-hmm. And so when I load that, that's okay. But if
And that one's not limited in any way.
No, it is. It is.
Oh, only index. Got you. Okay, sorry, I read that backwards.
Yep. So only the index page is limited, and so the only thing was then if I reload, this one is not being limited.
Right, it's just a message.
So I put the link to go back to try again here.
Gotcha. So in a real world scenario, you probably would keep the same action, but just conditionally render that, like, hey, slow down, and not do all the additional work on the page.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what else you can do. What the form is with.
I would imagine you can do pretty much anything there. I think you could probably just like render some text, or I think render plain is the new parlance.
Could it be? Do you think this alert went in the flash or something?
I think probably so. Yeah, as part of the redirect. So,
can we just make it not redirect? Can we just make it render anyways, but tell me like you're too fast?
Maybe. We certainly could just render some text here if we wanted. I think that's definitely an option, and that would keep the same path at least. So maybe do a render plain.
Let me just see if I can do this, because then I can keep. I like being able to just jam on the same. Oh, I think I got error.
No, I think it's doing the right thing. It's just we're not doing anything with the.
With the flash, or with.
Yeah, I don't know that alert is going to work there as a. So that's sort of set in the session and expecting to be done on a redirect. What if we try? Do you mind if I type for a second?
Do it.
All right, I've requested control.
All right, sponsored by multi.app. We're using our control here.
Let's try just changing this to this is intentionally terrible naming, but stick with me. So if this was like the index content, and then this calls index content with no argument, and this may have some sort of message is going to be nil. So we can do at message, this message. Actually, you know what we probably could do? No, actually, maybe we just do.
Oh yeah.
Alert is that, and then we'll just call it index. This is not code I would want to ship to prod, but I don't know if I can save it through Yep, I can save it. So now I think we should be able to reload, and we're still not using that alert, so we can throw that in our template. That might work. There's obviously like flash.now and all sorts of ways. There we go.
You're too fast. Oh yeah, look. Sometimes
lots of ways to solve this problem, but we'll do the hacky one for now.
That is much better. I love it. It should be red, but we can solve that later.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so now we have successfully implemented the Rails 8 rate limit, which is cool. I think it would be fun to and now the the challenge we were thinking of trying to solve today is how to make these dynamic in the same way. So if we wanted to be able to change this from 1 to 4 and sort of go back again, how could we do that? I think maybe the first thing to do would be to dive into the would be to actually figure out what rate limit what this is doing under the covers,
Absolutely.
which would be fun. Do you recall how do I find the location of this gem easily? I always forget that.
That's a great question. I don't know what it's part of.
Rail. Action pack or something.
Yeah, it sort of depends on how Rails is. What part of Rails are they putting this in? Let me do a little googling behind the scenes.
The other thing I can do, so I'll say this is where RubyMine shines because I did this morning in RubyMine, and it I do Command B on it, and then it just works.
Yeah, I mean, now you may be able to do like a go to definition in Visual Studio Code if you do like a Command K. Wait, no, not Command K. What do I want? Command Shift P. Go to definition. I don't know if this will work. No, you don't have it. The Ruby LSP might help you there, but anyway. Where is this defined at? If you would rather pull up RubyMine, that certainly is fine by me.
I'm doing it in another.
Okay, great.
Somehow I can't find it though. Quick, Jeffrey, vamp for time.
Yes.
You got a joke?
I don't have any appropriate jokes. It's a problem. I was asking some of my friends recently, what if you were a ghost? What's the funniest place you could think of to haunt? What would that be? I got some decent answers. Winfield Peterson wrote in and suggested a combination Taco Bell Pizza Hut, which I thought would be very funny. Just because that place is sort of funny in and of itself, and you throw a ghost in there, that's going to be great too. My friend Josh Johnson suggested the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney or an actual ghost in there would be completely unexpected and both delightful and terrifying.
Jeffrey, I just want to. I think we did that as smoothly as possible. And here's the rate limiting code there.
Excellent.
We'll see.
Okay, so where was this defined? This is rate limiting.rb, and it's part of action controller rate limiting. Perfect.
Yeah, this came action pack action controller.
All right, an action pack is all one word, which is why your bundle
That's
show did not work.
oops.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we can see my advanced debugging techniques from earlier. So we can get rid of those. And then this was me, figuring out that the count here was not working. But yeah, so it's interesting. So it's got the store, and then we are putting together basically the key here with rate limit, the controller path, and then this functionality, which we're not using in our example, but this would let you basically break it down by an additional level so that you could break it down. Like you want a rate limit by IP or by domain.
Right. And so that works just by throwing that as another item on the key so that those things are partitioned correctly.
Exactly. Yep. And then so that's calling the store. So it's just incrementing that. And then we're just comparing how many come back from this and rendering or doing this instead, the instance exec of that with if we're over the limit.
Right. Otherwise, this is implemented as a before action, so otherwise it just falls through to the action itself. Actually, it's interesting. So I bet if we changed our code to not call index directly, but just to set the instance variable, that would still work. Because since we're not redirecting it should still fall through to the main action there.
And all we're doing at the core level is that the only like the core logic of the rate limiter is basically just that we're incrementing a thing, but we also said that it expires. So we're just relying really heavily on Redis to have expired the things within that window.
Right, absolutely. Which is fascinating because I think this will work the way that we hope it will if we make this dynamic. In that would, if we make, as long as we make the within and the count both dynamic, I think Redis will do the right thing. The logic here will do the right thing. We should be gravy.
Should be gravy. Well, as long, yeah, so it'll be, or I'll have a question here about how often this code gets executed. I think is
That's yes, that's the trick. Can we do one thing? Do you mind just getting rid of that semicolon index there? I just want to see if this still works, because otherwise it's going to be like a prick on the back of my. Sorry. In our braces here.
That.
No, sorry. Although we can actually get rid of that too. I mean,
that.
Here, I'll just type. I
Great.
think this still works. If you want to give it a couple spins just to see.
Sure. Let me get. We're allowed to have 3. Limit
Okay.
3 within 2 seconds. Wait, 2. I'm gonna 1 per second. I don't know what the best.
I would expect that you do not have to restart on changing that.
Because it's restarting for me.
Yes, because Rails is live development, reloading sort of stuff should work pretty well there.
Excellent. So,
Okay.
I did give us a thing. So now I think we should be able to. Let's see. I think we should have rate limit A. Let's just.
Just make sure that we can fetch that value, right?
That's working.
Great.
Okay. So we've got a value here of this rate. And then, all right, so that was 3. I guess, yeah, we can naively put this in here.
Right.
And so now to test, so that this is working, it seems like about 3. I guess the way to test this, I could switch this and change this to 99.
Right. Now it should be very non-responsive.
But it doesn't look like I'm getting 99.
Right.
Because we only ran this the one time, probably.
Yes. So my suspicion is if you make
you can see the count 3 here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you make a non-trivial a non-trivial change to this controller, it should retrigger the class caching, and then you could even just assign a variable to a string here. Yeah, that's great.
Trivial change, and
hopefully that's not offensive to someone.
Trouble with tribbles joke or something, or
oh yeah, that works.
There's the trivial change. Let me see, and now we can see it is 99.
Yeah.
So that's good. So we've got dynamically updating rate limits as long as we just make small text changes to our application.
And you're running in development mode is the other trick. So not exactly production ready.
Super. So yeah, the concept, like in our Java libraries. Now we are at our challenge for today. That in our Java libraries, there's sort of this idea of like a live string, which is basically in the Java in me wants to sort of do this. Like I have a supplier of a long called the rate, and then we sort of equals a prefab dot supplier. You can see what of the rate limit. And then rate is just something that everyone agrees to call rate.get on, and that will actually get the value. Of course, that's not very Ruby.
No. No, so I think the trick is going to be A, figuring out how these things are actually being used, and then B, figuring out how clever we want to be. Um, so if we hop back over to the code where this is defined, I think we could start doing our detective work.
Yeah. So when we call rate limit, it creates a before action of this rate limiting type with these on it.
Yep.
2 comes in here, and then the only time where you're touching it is we're just calling greater than on it. So we sort of only need to, if we return some object from this that did the right thing with greater than, we'd be there.
The other trick is the within, the expires in within. But my guess is that probably gets two-eyed or something under the covers. So we probably could make that work as well. Let's start with just the count. I think this could be fun.
Yeah, or just the 2.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, the well, no, it is the count that we want to. No, you're sorry. You're right. It is the 2.
Yeah. The count
My
being
mistake.
the value that's actually that we're getting back out of there, stored at the key. Great. So where do you think we do this? I did plug in for the cloud our library. I am pointing to a local path, so we can screw around with things there. But what are your thoughts about how to do this?
Yeah, so I would. Whoops, I didn't mean to hit that. Sorry. I think the thing that I would probably lean on here is just implementing a local class rather than messing with the library.
Sure.
Just for convenience sake, and we could even put that class right here in the controller for now. Again, just for convenience.
What do you think? Live integer is what is this?
Sure. Let's get all Java-y on it.
You can take the void out of Java, but
and let's actually move this down into the high volume controller too. Again, this is not where we want this to live long term, but I just want to. I'm worried if it's outside of this, then the life cycle of the reloading and everything won't be exactly what we want. So I think this can initialize with a string, which will be our prefab key. And then we can get, the raw value. No, we don't. Yeah, we just want to save the key. That's it. And then we need to implement our less than, or was it greater than? We might as well implement both, I guess. And so the way that looks is you need to do the word other after the. Yeah, maybe. I think I'm doing this from memory, but oh God, that looks so wrong. But I think that may actually be it. And so what this would be is prefab.get. This is the part where we're making it live. Now we should say this is not going out over the API or making a HTTP call or anything like that. It's getting it out of the prefab value that's been pushed into our server from the API. So this is basically a free lookup. And we're going to do that on key. And can you make the terminal there a little bit smaller so we have a little more room to work with?
I can try.
Perfect. Okay, there's a non-zero chance this will work. So then we can change our line 14 to be a live integer.
But we need to compare it. We need to compare it to the.
No, that's a great point. We do want to do that.
So this shit is something is greater than the other if it's greater than the other.
Yes. And let's go ahead and do the less than too while we're here, just in case we get this wrong, because in the real world, you would want this to play both ways anyway.
Yeah. And we should sort of, really implement the whole integer.
The whole comparable thing. And I think you can actually just do that with the spaceship operator, but man, offhand, I don't remember exactly how. No, actually, let's do that. I want to do that real quick because I just looked it up. So I will type for a moment. We will include comparable. And then all we need to do is spaceship this guy. And then, spaceship this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so because we're going to get an integer out and because we're comparing an integer, we can use the default integer behavior there. So what we've really just introduced is the liveness of it. I like that.
I'm curious. I'm a curious fellow. I'm curious.
No, I like your lack of confidence here. Usually this is the other way around in our relationship, though. You're like, oh, no, it'll just work. And I'm like, eh.
Great. All right. Place your bets. Is it going to work? We're not using it. We're not using it. All right.
Yeah, we should hook it up first.
Live integer.new of this.
Yeah, just that guy.
We did it.
Okay, well that failed.
I wonder whether or not comparable is what we use when we're list. I mean, I don't know. I guess this is. Let's see, def less than other.
You know what? I think it may only be used for ordering, but it should. Yeah, let's. Sorry, I may be steering us wrong.
Let's see. We're learning something either way.
I definitely have mostly used it for comparing. Let's get rid of the spaceship operator for now. I think it may be.
All right.
Yeah.
Count. Are we being the right one? We're
well.
Greater.
We may need to.
No, we're on the other. Maybe we need this one.
Yeah, let's do both.
Method missing and just.
I mean, that's not a bad choice either. Just to have it yell at us.
I don't know whose idea it was to do live programming of like something where like we have to get less than right and greater than correct. I'm just reloading this for. Not having it.
Let me do a little Googling here.
A little Googling. I'm going to do some advanced debugging techniques. All right, so our two object here is our thing. And can we do 2 greater than 3? Ah.
Well, I mean, that looks promising.
Wait. Here's the problem. Here, we can't do this.
Oh, because integer doesn't know about it. Yes. Well, yes, that makes sense and is terrible. Because monkey patching integer is its own kind of hell. That does make sense, though. So I think our spaceship thing actually would have worked fine in retrospect. And I don't even know that we needed the comparable module, but I think, yes, you have found the problem. The problem is not comparing live integer to integer. It's comparing integer to live integer.
Is there something to be done?
It's a good question.
Like, it's not that I really wanted to override all of these methods individually. I just want to be an integer. Can I extend integer?
Yes, we could do that. But I don't know. I don't know what we override there. Because integers are primitive. So integer has multiple of, which doesn't.
That's something that got like added in here.
Yeah. So there are existing monkey patches, which is something. What does multiple of actually look like? Can you go back to that for a second? Okay, so it's just using self. I don't know that we can. Interesting. I I am curious how this would work. I'm gonna just see if I can. Hmm.
What method? So the question is, what? When you say 3 is greater than a thing,
Right.
boy.
Yeah. So I think the problem is that I just did this in a IRB console. If you do if you call like you have the number one and you call here, I'll type it over here in your screen. So if we do like one dot method, so we're looking at the integer one
Yeah.
and we're looking for like the less than, right?
Yep.
Well, hold on. Let's try. Let's do the whole spaceship. Okay. So we there is a method there that we could, maybe look at, but the source location is nil because this is very well. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that this is implemented, in the
Let's see.
yeah, it's somewhere down in the VM for Ruby, not in the code that we can really play with. So to pop the stack a little bit, maybe can we look at the Rails code again? Okay. So rate limit defines a before action, which uses the rate limiting method. I mean, we could definitely override the rate limiting method. That's kind of a bummer, but it's certainly doable.
Yeah. Sadly, if it had just well, we would never have got to this interesting.
Yeah, that is fascinating. let's try that. I just want to see. I would love to see it work.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Oh, you have a debugger in there too. I guess we can. We should send a PR to Rails just flipping that.
I don't think open source projects are accepting sort of random. I don't understand why this is a thing. PRs right now.
We're still inheriting from integer, so we'll want to get rid of that.
Oops. Count to something trivial change. So, wait, let me do just a 2s on this.
Yeah, that'd be good. And it can just dump out what the key is. Or sorry, what the value is of that key.
And then
it may be calling inspect instead of 2s.
Oh, sure. Loading.
Okay, well, we don't know what we're doing. Where's the count being?
That printing?
That's printed in the Rails code.
Yes, in my hacked on version of the Rails code.
Okay. We could call inspect on that. In the Rails code, I mean.
Yep, I just... Oh, that was in Ruby, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's just explicitly call that. And then we will have to restart there because we made a change to the library code. Okay, there we go.
199, and then we can.
Yeah, we don't have the nice tooltip because we're abstracting it away now.
Mm-hmm. We can change this to 2. reload. All right.
And that does work.
That
That's
works.
amazing. So, all right, we're going to have a, you know, tiny, tiny PR to Rails, and everything's good here.
Funny.
I mean, honestly, I you could make a very good argument here, I think. The flexibility provided by inverting this is worth it. Because in the general case, if you're only providing an integer, it's a completely meaningless distinction, right? Like there's not going to be any implication of that change. But if you're providing something that is just integer quacky, like our thing is, it does open up possibilities that weren't there before.
I just feel like there's got to be a way to. I feel like one of my fundamental constitutionally given rights has been taken away by not being able to make Ruby just not being able to monkey patch or something.
Yes, no, I agree. I mean, okay. I mean, we certainly can monkey patch integer. That is a thing we can do, but it is one of those crimes.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there's a good way to use refinements here. To be honest, I haven't used refinements a ton in Anger, but
What's a
it feels tricky.
refinement? It's like the refinements are like the nicer way to monkey patch.
Yes.
So you can do it with just in your scope of a thing.
Yeah, but I don't know that there's a great way to do that because of the way that we're interacting with Rails and the way this function's implemented.
Fascinating. All right. Well, I'll be curious to see whether or not we. Well, yeah, I don't know. We could take this other direction. So we could also pause and feel like there might. I don't know. I feel like I want to read the integer code a bit more and dig into what's happening there, or just there's some other way to feel like you're exposing the interface of being an integer without just being the integer itself.
Yes. I'm cheating and I'm asking Claude over here. It's funny because in my first thing I'm like, how can I compare this, custom class to an integer? It's like, this is great, and then it gave me everything on the same side of the operator that we were dealing with. It's like, this is super easy. So I'd be like, what if I want to do
Yeah.
the other side of that operator? It starts to get tricky.
Be interested to see whether you get anything out of Claude. I think this is deeply in the.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is suggesting that we monkey patch integer. So very firmly what I expected, but sad panda that there's not a good escape patch there.
Well,
I mean, we could do it for the lulls, but it's not something you would necessarily want to ship to production, right?
yeah. So I mean, we could do it for the. Let's do it for the lulls, I guess.
All right. I can do a little typing.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's just gonna look exactly like you would expect. We'll take integer. We will redefine the spaceship operator. We're gonna put in a little comment. Okay, that's a little bit of exaggeration. Primes. And then this is going to be basically, what does this look like?
It's like we could call 2i on our other or something.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, right? Is like self other.2i. Whoops, lost my key press there. There's a non-zero chance that works. We would have to put the Rails code back the other way to
We
verify.
don't actually have a 2i, so we should have a 2i.
Yes, also fair.
Probably. is an integer.
Yep.
We did this.
There definitely is an assumption there that you're calling it on the right thing, but that's fine for our purposes.
I put this back the way it was.
Okay, good. I missed that while I was clotting.
And all right, let's see. 3 to 2, and then I'm gonna restart this. Make sure we're running.
Oh
clean
yes,
here.
let's do that.
Okay.
Ah. Why comparison of integer with?
I still got.
See, I would have.
We only did this one. We only did this one.
Yeah. I don't know that we need. Mr. Spaceship should be enough, but go for it.
Self greater other 2i. I feel like if this works, we're gonna have destroyed your love of spaceships, and I guess that was already it's gonna be.
As trivia for the listeners, I have a single tattoo and it says "You will never go to space." So my love of spaceships is already a little jilted.
That didn't do anything.
Yeah, Oh, hold on. There was scroll just a tiny bit more. I think I saw. Okay, so it's metal rate limiting 57. Is that the core code we were in there? Yeah, that's it. Maybe Claude is wrong also. Maybe you actually can't override this on integer. It's not something I've tried to do before because again, it is an actual crime.
Yeah.
Also it's scoped here. Let's try one more thing. Let's move it out of the scope.
Also, we didn't extend. Oh, no, that's fine.
We intentionally scoped live integer, but if you put that up at the top, and then let's just restart for good measure.
All the integers belong to us. Okay.
God help us. Oh, no, now we got an infinite loop, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's fair. Honestly, that's okay. So if
is less than.
Well, actually, I think having both of let's go just with the spaceship. I think maybe there's some self-referential stuff there, but it may also be that we need to do some class detection. Nope, still too deep. Okay. Yeah, so we can just do if other dot is a question mark integer, then we can just do
super
self. I don't know that we can super here. Let's do self spaceship other.
Okay.
And then we can else it. Oh, we're several crimes deep now, Jeff.
Wait, this is an integer. This is gonna loop, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna do it too. Well, I think we do have to super.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
I don't know if super's gonna work. Oh man. Yep. The Ruby police are gonna come to our house. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Did you do?
Is it for
go back to the code for a second?
What?
Oh, you need a question mark on the is a.
Oh God, for an instance of a float. Yeah, we're all up in.
Did that reload? Your computer may be catching on fire right now. There's no good end to this story. Yeah, there we go.
Yep. Well, everyone, that's all the time we have today.
No, I think this is a crime and we should be punished.
This one's tight. Oh boy.
The police are on their way. Can you even control C it?
Nope, nope,
Oh,
nope.
cool.
Too close for control C. Yeah, activity
Oh
monitor.
man.
Too close. Oh god.
Yep.
Oh
Well,
god.
it's fine. Oh, it stopped. It stopped actually.
Woof.
Okay. There
Well,
actually, I think, is an interesting discussion here. Not to beat a dead horse, but just about the order of the that operator. Um, ex when designing your API, and this is not a criticism because clearly they didn't intend for it to be used in such a wacky way. But if you're looking at that Rails code and you have the option to accept a non-primitive uh, and implement your function in a way that that can be used versus like narrowly scoping what you accept. Um, there's just some interesting design decisions that happen there, right? Like if the order would have been reversed, the flexibility of this method goes through the roof. Now that may be a good thing, that may be a bad thing. It's sort of for the implementers to decide. In our case, it would be a good thing because we want to stretch it out. But
I mean, it's certainly, I believe, the case in Java as well. Is uh, you're certainly not monkey patching an integer there, but like, yeah, that whole concept of having a supplier of an integer is sort of
mhm.
functions are in general we over define we are over spec. They're saying I need an integer. And you're like, well, no, you don't actually need an integer. You need something that will you need the ability to get an integer or something. But
Right. You eventually need an
for a lot
integer.
of years we've sort of defaulted to being like, just give me the integer or something, and then so you have it can make it challenging to sort of push the dynamism through the system, because there are a lot of things that aren't expecting that, and it takes a little bit of time for like retrofitting to get that there.
I think you should make a PR.
We'll consider it. We'll consider it.
I have the distinction of having a 3-character PR to Rails core. It added the DT tag to the HTML whitelist. Without it, you could output invalid HTML because it was sanitized out of the way. Um, so, I mean, this would be, I don't know, you're probably looking at 6, 7 characters.
One upping you for sure there.
That's right.
All right, brilliant. This was fun. We're sorry, but something went wrong. As the name of my.
You gotta wonder how sorry they really are. In this case, it's on us. They shouldn't be sorry at all.
Oh god, that's the name of my sex tape joke there, but oh well. Okay, I think we can leave it there. Jeffrey, this was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Oh man, it's always fun committing crimes. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. All right. Bye bye.